Our next speaker is Jenica Smith, who's exploring accessibility to combat food insecurities on college campuses.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. As a nutrition and dietetics major, the topic of food comes up quite often, as you can expect. Everyone loves food. Throughout the course of my studies, I have had heated debates with fellow majors on a variety of topics that range from vegan to vegetarianism, but they always ended well because, again, we all love food. I felt a sense of community with like-minded quinoa enthusiasts. It was thrilling. One semester, I had a heated debate with a student about enzymatic processes and discovered she was sleeping on friends' couches and struggled to find healthy food options from time to time. I was shocked. How could this be possible? Outside of couch hopping, I saw myself in this student. I have definitely experienced times where I haven't made the healthiest food options and lived on the starving student diet. You know, top ramen, cereal, or Hot Pockets for weeks at a time. I began to wonder how many other students had the same experience as me. The archetype of the starving student is widely accepted in the United States, but at what cost? Food is a basic need. Food is fuel. How has it become acceptable for students to have to choose between paying for one's education over paying for food? So let's do a mini experiment. Clap once if you know where your next meal is coming from. Clap twice if you ate today. Clap 3 times if you've ever been a starving student. Hunger was happening right in front of me, and I couldn't even see it. Even students on financial aid struggle to find healthy food options. I began my investigation into how CSUN was dealing with the starving student issue and discovered several food aid programs on campus. I never knew they existed. How many other people had the same experience as me? So my big thesis question became, are food aid programs at CSUN accessible? How knowledgeable are students of their existence? The goal of my thesis project is to analyze accessibility to food aid programs at CSUN in an effort to bring awareness and combat food insecurity among the starving student. So let's dive into what food insecurity is. Food insecurity, the official definition, was established by the United States Department of Agriculture in association with the Economic Research Service. It is one's inability to access sufficient amounts of nutritious and affordable foods at all times. Food insecurity can range from low to very low. With low food insecurity, there is little to no reduction in food intake or eating habits, but rather a reduction in quality, variety, and desirability in diet. An example of this would be eating off the fast food dollar menu every day for 1 week. On the other hand, low food insecurity, very low food insecurity, is a reduction in food intake and eating habits. An example of this would be eating off that same dollar menu, but only being able to afford it 4 out of 7 days a week. There is a distinction between hunger and food insecurity. Hunger is an individual level physiological condition that may result from food insecurity. On the other hand, food insecurity is a household level economic and social condition of limited or uncertain access to adequate foods. There are 4 components that make up food insecurity: availability, utilization, stability, and access. Availability is having reliable and consistent sources of quality food. Food production can affect availability. Utilization is having knowledge and basic sanitary conditions to prepare, choose, and distribute food in a way that results in good nutrition. Having access to clean water can affect utilization. Stability is being able to access and utilize food that is stable and sustainable over time. Climate change can affect stability. Access is having sufficient amounts of resources to produce and or purchase food. Living in an area like a food desert or one that has limited availability to fresh fruits and vegetables can affect access. In 2015, the CSU Chancellor published a report stating that 21% of all CSU students were considered food insecure. That means for every 10 students, 2 are food insecure. It can be difficult to target these students for a variety of reasons: lack of knowledge, confidentiality, or shame. By simply being informed that these food aid programs exist can encourage and motivate students to actively participate. So for my study, I will be analyzing food access on campus at select food aid programs using a mixed method approach modeled after the CSU Chancellor study. I will be focusing on one of the 4 components of food insecurity: access. Tools will be student surveys on food access, along with interviews with key informants at these selected food aid programs: CSUN Food Pantry, CalFresh Outreach, Women's Research and Resource Center, and California Women, Infant, and Children, also known as WIC. I anticipate completing data collection and analysis by the end of summer 2018. Now let's do another mini experiment. How many people know where the CSUN Food Pantry is located? Clap once. Clap twice if you know where the Women's Research and Resource Center is located. Okay. What I have gathered so far from my research is that there's not enough resources to go around, making marketing of these food aid programs tricky. Regardless, any percentage of food insecure students is a huge issue. At some point in time, we have all experienced being the starving student. Having access to healthy food choices can help us be healthy and productive. We as a community have an opportunity to bring about change. Think about if you know anyone who is food insecure. Think about what you can do for that person today. Think about the possible impacts this research can have. Increase accessibility to food aid programs on campus, increase well-being of students, and increase funding and or resources. We have an opportunity to be a model for other CSU campuses. We can minimize or eliminate the starving student diet for a better future. Thank you.
Thank you, Jenica. Great job of enlightening us and making us aware of the issues that are going on on the campus of 40,000 students. One question for you is that just correct me if I'm wrong, you're doing campus-wide surveys and interviews.
That's correct.
And in your findings, how do you expect to have any people who are experiencing food insecurity reluctant to tell you about it? And you as a researcher, how are you going to increase your numbers where you're getting honest, usable results?
Well, right now, I am in the middle of submitting my IRB application, so I'm not allowed to discuss the specific questions, but we do have questions that try to eliminate that by asking, if you answered no to this question, then why? And then we'll be able to determine, is it lack of knowledge, is it shame, is it location, hours, etc. So we'll be able to answer those questions.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jenica, for helping us find ways to finally put an end to the starving student diet.